Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie and welcome if this is your first visit. I will be doing an oracle card reading for the first week of November 2020, November 1st through November 7th. So I am going to normally I do post the readings on Sunday and they cover the following week. It's still going to be for Sunday through the following Saturday, so the 1st through the 7th of November, but I am going to post it on Saturday, and the reason I'm doing that, which will be Halloween, which will be October 31st, 2020. The reason I'm doing that is I just wanted to mention that I'm doing a flash sale on Etsy on the 31st only. So I hated to release this video tomorrow and have anybody who wanted to get a private reading miss that flash sale. So I'm mentioning it now. I'll put a link below to my Etsy shop if you are interested in getting a private reading. It's a pretty big sale, bigger than what I normally do for Halloween. So I will post this on Saturday, but it will cover the time period that we normally cover, which is a Sunday through the following Saturday. So this week, I didn't realize it until I picked out the decks that I wanted to use. I will be reading from a couple guidebooks, which is pretty unusual. Normally I just pass along the intuitive information I get. But two of the decks I chose this week contain either an affirmation or an activation or a question to pose to yourself. So I do want to read those. So we have three groups this week and kind of start tuning into those. I don't have any objects out, but we're just going to go group 1, group 2, and group 3. So if you want to kind of start tuning into the energy of those, you can. The first card for each group will be a card from the Crystal Spirits Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reeds. We'll get kind of a crystal energy for each group for the week. The second card is going to be from this Cosmic Reading Cards deck. These contain an activation or an affirmation, so I will read that for each group. And then the last one will be a card from the Work Your Light deck for each group. And this one has either an activation or an inquiry or a question to pose to yourself. So I will read from the guidebook for that bit for each group. So let's go ahead and get started again. Here we have group 1. In the center we have group 2, and on this end we have group 3. So I will take those down, and as always, if you tune into this and it is not the week of November 1st through the 7th, 2020, but it resonates with you, then it is for you. And also, if you resonate with one or more of the groups, you are welcome to choose more than one. So let's get started. For group 1, the crystal energy. So I have drawn the cards to separate them into piles. Obviously, you saw them there, but I have not looked at any of the cards for each group. So I'll be seeing them when you do. So for group 1, the crystal energy that comes out for you is, it's the number 1 card in your group 1. It's Agerine. So Agerine, all about consistent action. Reliability. It's kind of like a workhorse energy, solidarity, integrity, personal integrity, and reclamation or reclaiming of your personal power. So kind of a steadfast, grounded, solid crystal energy for those of you who chose group 1 this week. I like that. We haven't had a lot of that kind of energy lately, so that's welcome. And then the Cosmic Oracle card for you who chose group 1 is going to be the new chapter card, so that's interesting. So we have this kind of new, fresh, grounded energy coming in, and this is right on the heels of a really powerful full moon. So we have this new chapter energy coming in. So this is kind of also reclamation of personal power. It is taking consistent action, is the message I'm getting from this crystal energy. Taking consistent action gets you to a place where you are ready to enter this new chapter of your life. So it is also about consistent movement, determination, transition, movement forward. So very much the same energy as the Agerine energy. And for that one, as I said, I will read you there's a prayer or an affirmation you can work with for each of these. So this one is Great Spirit, and obviously you can substitute whatever is most comfortable for you. It can be higher self, it can be divine, it can be God, whatever you want to call out. Great Spirit, guide me through this transition and give me the courage to make choices that help my soul grow. I really, really like this week. I feel like I might take group 1 for myself this week. So it's about, so many times since we've had this influx of law of attraction stuff over the past 10 years or so, people tend to think manifestation is magic, and we're manifesting every single thing all the time in our lives. Whether we like it or not, we tend to think manifestation is just poof, magic. Something pops into your life, and it's like, oh, I manifested that. And sometimes it happens that way. It does sometimes. But for the most part, the manifestation is something you create through taking consistent action and through physical movement and through determination. And that leads you to an energy of transition that gets you into this new chapter of your life. So, again, Great Spirit, guide me through this transition and give me the courage to make choices that help my soul grow. So, that is the affirmation you can work with this week. And then for your Work Your Light card this week, group 1, you have the Unbound card. This is absolutely perfect. Like, it couldn't be more perfect. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So this has come up quite a bit over the past few months for people. Look at the full moon energy on this card too, group 1, which we are still in for a solid 3 days after the 31st. So if you are watching this on Saturday or Sunday, or even Monday, we are still very much in the full moon energy. So Unbound, this is about that transition period that we're talking about with both of these cards. This is about consistent movement, taking action steps, determining what it is that you want to transform yourself and your life into. And by releasing these things, which a lot of us have been working on, specifically with the full moon is a great time for release. So, you can still do that if it didn't call to you on the full moon or you weren't aware of it. You are still well within the energy of that. But also, a lot of us have been transitioning and transforming and releasing over the past few months. So we've all been doing the work we're supposed to be doing. And what this gets us is a lightness of being and feeling unbound so that we can transition into that next step of our lives where we are more in alignment with our soul's purpose. So that is your energy. I'm going to claim that for my own this week too, because I really like this one. That is your energy for this week if you chose group 1. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me read this one to you. Okay, so this one is an activation. So some of these are inquiries, some of these are activations for this Work Your Light deck. This one is an activation. So it's also kind of a prayer or affirmation or exercise you can do this week if it resonates with you and you feel called to do it. So this will help release anything that's lingering so that you can really transform and transition into that new energy that's calling you forward, so that you can really move into that new chapter. So, and I love that this is the number 1 too, which is like a starting point, which is a new chapter. So if this resonates with you, you will just actually place your left hand, this is your energetically receptive hand, on your heart center and say, I release all old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, forever unbound. So I tried to speak that slowly so you could repeat after me if it resonated with you. You can always go back and write that down as well and practice it anytime you feel like you need to kind of make a clean break from that old energy so that you can move forward into your new chapter. So that is your energy for group 1 this week. I love it. And then let's go on to group 2. Group 2, this is like a surprise for me each time I turn one over. Group 2 is going to get Tiger's Eye for your crystal energy. So this is about sort of the same energy as the Acherine. So it's about willpower, but not in the sense that we think like restriction, which so many people associate willpower with dieting or exercise and making yourself do something and really putting yourself in a box. It's not that kind of energy. It's the power of your will, the power to create, the power to have purpose and connect with your purpose, the power to manifest your goals, dreams, and wishes into reality. So really a sort of a creative, purposeful energy this week. Creating with intention is what I want to say for your Tiger Eye energy this week. So that is your crystal energy if you chose group 2. And I feel like the pyramid energy is very powerful too. If any of you who chose group 2 have kind of an innate connection to Egypt or to the pyramid shape, it may be really kind of powerful for you to work with at this time. And then your cosmic reading cards energy, group 2, is going to be, the Golden Crown. So the Golden Crown is all about a new journey. It's about personal growth. It's about your very personal growth is how I want to say this. It's about not comparing your story to someone else's story, but your personal story and how that is leading you to a new, I want to say a new chapter, which is the wording that came up for group 1 on this card, on the cosmic reading cards. But it is very much a similar energy, both for the crystal card and for this card too, the Golden Crown. I do love that the Golden Crown comes up with the golden tiger's eye. So in addition to the pyramid shape that I mentioned, the color gold also brings in that sort of very revitalizing energy, warming, sunshiny kind of energy this week for you, group 2. So this is, the message I'm getting is, not to compare your story to anyone else's, and very much about detachment, seeing your story from a different perspective. How would you look at it if someone else had your story? Would you look at it as interesting or difficult or worthy of compassion? Probably. You would find the interesting points about it rather than comparing and saying, I've done the same action steps, but that person has amassed far more wealth, or, whatever. I exercise this much, but this person's body appears to be more the shape I want than what I have. Those sort of comparisons are really damaging. So what this is saying this week is wear your own golden crown, kind of toot your own horn. Compare yourself to your past, but not to anyone else, because your past is what has brought you to this point in your life. And now it's time to transition into a new energy. So very much about the journey, very much about your personal growth, detaching from the past and writing a new story for yourself. Don't compare to other people. Contrast is fine. Comparison is not. Yeah, very much just about starting a new journey for you as well this week, group 2. So let me look at the message the Cosmic Oracle has for you. So your affirmation or prayer, and if you didn't listen to group 1, I will mention it again for each group. You are welcome to substitute or reword these affirmations and prayers in any way you would like to by substituting God or the divine or my higher self or whatever, however you would like to word or reword them is absolutely fine. So your affirmation or prayer for this week is, I am positively shining with spiritual light, love, and compassion. Illuminating, I inspire others to be the blessed radiance that they truly are. So that's perfect and exactly like the message I was getting, that I was getting a strong message about compassion and extending that same compassion to yourself that you would extend to others while you are on your journey, as we all are. And contrasting and not comparing, I inspire others to be the blessed radiance that they truly are. Because when you are secure in your own personal power, when you are secure on your journey and in yourself and with your story, you're there to uplift others rather than compare yourself to them. Okay, so then for your work, your light energy for this week, group 2, Oh, this is super interesting. It's the mirror card. This is one of my favorite cards because this always means that we are comparing ourselves to others when we should just be maybe appreciating the contrast. So this is about the part you play in that, because you are always, when something bothers you, you are always mirroring it in some way. Which sometimes we don't like to admit to ourselves, but we always play a part in any experience. So here's the mirror card for you. This is about really examining, if there's anything bothering you, or you feel like you're being held back from moving forward, or you don't like how your story is unfolding. What's the part you play in this? And it says who or what is triggering you. And sometimes that's yourself. Sometimes the answer is I am. So this is about really looking in that mirror, unfiltered, and saying, okay, this is the part I'm playing in this. This is how I'm going to rewrite my story. And this is my journey now. So that is your energy for group 2 this week. And then this one has an inquiry. So these are some questions you can journal about this week if it resonates with you, or just kind of ponder. It says, who or what is triggering you? What is it in you that they are triggering? And what part of you longs to be witnessed? So, people and situations and lessons come into our lives to force us to evolve spiritually and on a soul level, to learn the lessons we came here to learn. So, it may be that you feel like you're being held back on your journey, or, maybe that's because you haven't really been willing to take that filter down and see clearly the part you play in things. And when you do that, at that time, that's when you extend that compassion to yourself and say, okay, I understand what I've been doing. I understand the part I've played in these kind of stories in the past. I get it now. Lesson learned. And then you move on with your journey and you write new chapters in your story. So that is your energy for this week, group 2. And then on to our final group, group 3. If you chose group 3 this week, your crystal energy is going to be chrysocolla, which is really about communication. It's about connecting that throat chakra with the heart chakra. Big heart connection. It's about speaking your truth, but also trusting those who are speaking to you, as well as the information you're putting out. So very much about communication this week, group 3, but also about that heart connection. So chrysocolla is your crystal energy for this week if you chose group 3. Your cosmic reading cards energy this week. Oh, interesting. It's the choices card. So these are the things you experience on a soul level. This are the choices you make that lead to your soul's growth. So this connects kind of to the group 2 reading, which connected to the group 1 reading. So if you are one of those people who kind of picks a card and then maybe listens to the other ones, or just always sticks to your one choice, you might want to listen this week in order 1, 2, and then 3, because I kind of feel like they're building on each other this week. So the choices card is very much about soul's growth, very much about lessons learned and being in progression of those lessons, the lessons being in a progressive order so that the experiences build on one another. And lead to this soul's growth. So really paying attention to the choices you make. And I feel like with the chrysocolla energy, these choices may have specifically to do with communication. So are you choosing to speak kindly and through your heart center? Or are you making snap decisions or knee-jerk reactions, or leading from places that you would have in the past, which came up in the group 2 reading? This is saying base your choices on the current energy. Base the choices you make and the language you use and the communication you are putting out there on the outcome you want, not past behaviors, not how things would have turned out, but what is the outcome you want, and then base your choices and communication on how you want things to unfold. So your cosmic reading cards affirmation this week for group 3, and again, I'll repeat this. I apologize if you have listened to all the groups that this is repetitive, but you can always feel free to change these to feel more flowing or more comfortable for how you speak. Don't worry about repeating them exactly. You can always change them. That's totally fine. So, the affirmation for you this week, group 3, is I am courageous as I listen to the guidance from my heart, which is amazing because it's the heart energy that comes up in the chrysocolla. And if you're listening, that's communication, that's heart communication, heart centered communication. So, I am courageous as I listen to the guidance communication from my heart. I am courageous as I listen to the guidance from my heart. So that's saying that it may take a little bit of bravery. It may take stepping outside your comfort zone to make the choices that are in alignment with who you are now. And then your work your light card for this week, group 3, is the soul family card. I really like this because I feel like what this leads to is kind of new connections with people who are more like-minded. So it may be that you have to close some doors or stop some connections that were too draining for you, people or events, activities, groups, so that you are able to make choices that are more in alignment with who you are and who you want to become, who you're transitioning into. It says call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So this is saying to me that, by using, being true to yourself, being in alignment with your heart center, speaking that truthful communication, trusting that it will be well received by the right people, and making choices that are in alignment with who you are becoming and who you want to become, that will lead you to these deeper connections, to your soul family, to those people you are most in alignment with. And let me read for you, group 3. Yours is an action. So the only thing you do for this one, group 3, is in order to call in these people who resonate with you on a soul level, you just sit quietly during meditation, and your work your light action for this week, if you resonate with this, is to call in your support team. So that can be as simple as sitting quietly before or after a meditation or during and saying, I call in like-minded people who resonate with me on a spiritual and soul level to accompany me on my future journey into my future self. So that's the energy, is really an energy of growth and heartfelt, heart-centered communication for you this week, and new choices. So I loved all of these readings this week. Let me know, leave me a comment below and let me know which group you picked, or if you listened to all 3 of these. And remember, if you are interested in getting a personal reading, the flash sale on Etsy is today only, on October 31st only. I just wanted to release this video a day early to let everybody know about that, and I will put a link to that below. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you all next week.